Welcome to lesson 3, adding and subtracting of matrices. So what I want you to do to begin with is straight into your workbook, put up that heading, and importantly, we want to write down these rules for adding and subtracting matrices. Fairly straightforward, 1 and 2, in that they say matrices are added or subtracted by adding the elements that are in the same position. That'll become clearer when we do our first example. But the third point there, matrix addition and subtraction can only be done if the two matrices have the same order. So that is, if we're adding, we need to add a 2 by 2 only with a 2 by 2 matrix, or a 3 by 3 can only be added or subtracted with a 3 by 3. A non-square matrix like a 2 by 3, again, can only be added or subtracted with another 2 by 3. And the resulting matrix is exactly that. It'll be the same dimension of what's being added or subtracted. So pause on this slide before you continue on to the worked examples. So here is our first worked example. We've been given two matrices, A and B, defined here, both 2 by 2, and we want to add them together. It says, let's find A plus B. The note here is just repeating what was advised before in the notes. A plus B is shown here, written down the two matrices again, and then each element is added together. So we see first here in row 1, column 1, number 4 for matrix A and number 1 for matrix B, and they're added together, 4 plus 1, producing 5. And that continues on. We get the 8 and the 0 from the two respective matrices from row 1, column 2, and we put them down here. 8 plus 0 equals 8, and that goes on, and the same thing's done in row 2. Just pause it as you need time to take that down, then move on to the next slide. So here's an opportunity for you to do your addition. Your turn. A couple of examples being given here. The solutions are provided over on the right, and just hit pause before you have a look at the solution. Second question given here, shown over down the bottom. Again, hit pause before you continue on. Solution shown on the right. All right, let's have a look at subtraction on this slide. This is our second worked example, and I've given two matrices, matrix C as a 2 by 2 matrix, and matrix D, another 2 by 2, and we want to find C minus D. So we do that by subtracting the corresponding entries in matrix C and D. So down here I've written on the first line the matrix C in blue, and then in brown or orange we've got the matrix D. What we're going to do is, for each respective element, we're going to subtract one from the other. So you'll see here on the second line, column 1, row 1, we've got 2 minus 5, and that comes from, we've selected 2 out of matrix A, and then out of matrix B, we've taken the number 5. So 2 minus 5 gives us minus 3, which we've shown there, down there in the bottom, in the last line. And that continues on for the other entries or elements of the matrix. On the row 1, column 2, we have 8 in matrix A and 6 in matrix B. We've got 8 minus 6. We end up with 2, and we continue on to complete the rest of the matrix in that way. So hit pause here to make sure you get that down in your notes before continuing on. So the final subtraction examples, or slide is your chance to do a couple of these, and we start off with a matrix X and matrix Y, and they're going to be subtracted from one another. So I want you to go ahead and try that. Hit pause before you bring up the solution for it, which appears there on the right in red. And finally, question 4, that's a 3 by 3 matrix subtracted from another 3 by 3 matrix, obviously giving us an answer of a 3 by 3 matrix. Again, hit pause before you finally click on to see the solution. And that's the end of this presentation. Thank you.